really dead?
I know. It's hard to believe, right?
Yeah. He's been such a good neighbor.
One day after the deadly collapse of a parking garage in Lower Manhattan, we're learning more about not just the victims, but the garage's several open building code violations, some of which date back decades. A massive demolition and car removal effort is now underway after yesterday's collapse left one man dead and sent 6 others to the hospital.
Yeah, we have live team coverage for you tonight. Pix 7's Colorama has latest on the victims, including that man who lost his life. His body pulled from the rubble not long ago. But we begin with our James Ford, who has more on the century-old garage, and one of those violations could have played a role in what happened yesterday. James.
And what we have right now, look, we're about 7.5 hours into this demolition of this building. That demolition process could take days, according to the Department of Buildings. You see the scene back here. What has changed since we were with you an hour ago is the remains of this victim have been removed, very respectfully treated by the NYPD, the FDNY, the Department of Buildings, and the contractor here that's been working on this demolition. It is, again, a long process, but because of that situation with the victim, this process has had to be very meticulous. It started with the walls of this parking garage being torn down. Then the heavy equipment on scene had to lift the cars out of the century-old structure and place them on the street, where bulldozers remove them. It's among the latest developments at this scene, where one man was killed and 6 other people injured, when some of the 4 floors of the structure started falling in on each other, sending cars tumbling with them.
When they started to leave, yes, it was because there was big noise.
Alessi Hernandez is the manager of a parking garage adjacent to the one that collapsed, and he personally knows the man who was killed in the collapse. The man, Hernandez says, was in his office around 4 p.m. on Tuesday with other workers when tragedy struck.
The main area that the floor on the second floor came into was the office where the manager had his work desk. And at the same time, one of the supervisors that was pulled out on a stretcher was also there, but he was been able to be removed from the building.
That building, which was constructed around 1920 to house horses and buggies, has 4 open building code violations, 2 of which date back 2 decades, and 3 of which involve concrete in the building being compromised in some way. One of the violations from 20 years ago is for sealing cracks and defective concrete on one of the lower floors. That case is still open, according to the Department of Buildings, and the property owner, Ann Street LLC, paid a fine. We tried in various ways to reach the owner of the collapsed garage, but were not able to contact them about the unresolved structural issues. Now, the building is in process of being demolished now, and in the last hour or so, the city has updated its information, indicating that repairs had been made on some of those violations from 2003, and those repairs being done in around 2011, but proper paperwork not being filed, indicating that those changes had been made. The city also making it very clear that it is in close contact with the owner of the building, and making it clear that the investigation into what went wrong is still very much ongoing. Reporting live from Lower Manhattan, I'm James Ford, Pix 11 News.